Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. And I want to start with first thing, as usual. Please, if you like all these videos, don't forget to subscribe. If you like them, please don't forget to press like. If not, by all means, you can hit the not like button, and if you can just leave some comments as to your reasoning. Feedback will be very, very helpful. So, without further ado, let's get on with the topic of today's video. I had some inquiries regarding playing of radio stations and playlists using the Sonos integrations. Now, the problem, some of these quick apps will allow you to play radios. So, for example, the Sonos plugin for the Scaro automation bridge. If I click on that, it pulls in the data for the, oh, let me just bring that up a bit bigger. Let me just log in. So if I click on here, there. So it brings the data in. So for example, I've got 3 radio stations in my favorites, and it just pulled that data in automatically. So I can just press these and it will start playing. Okay, excuse me. So, but as with all of these quick apps, there's limitations, and the biggest limitation is the playing of playlists. Okay, so if I have something that's already in memory, or shall we say in the queue, and I hit play, it will play it. However, if I wanted to start a fresh playlist, it won't play it. So one of the queries or the inquiries I got was to be able to play playlists, and also, if I look here, there's no sleep timers and things like that. So what I've done is I've created another quick app, but it has to, because of what we want it to do, I've based it on using the Node-Sonos-HTTP-Api. So what does that mean? Well, if you Google giyhub Node-Sonos-HTTP-Api, you'll come up with this site. This guy has created like an interface between Sonos and Home Center. This works with both Home Center 2 and Home Center 3. However, the quick app I've written is more designed for the Home Center 3 and not Home Center 2. However, saying that, I will make a similar one for the Home Center 2 as well. Okay, so watch out for that in the shop. Okay, right now Home Center 3 will be available, and just keep checking back for the Home Center 2. Okay, so what this does is, like I said, it creates a bridge between the two. So you have commands such as where are they? It's here somewhere. There they are. So you can do things like play, pause, volume control, mute, unmute, next, previous, favorites. This is what I was on about, playing your favorite for radio stations, playlists and things like that. So we can do all these on there as well. Okay, it's got TTS and everything built in, but I haven't bothered adding that in, as we can use TTS using other methods. So to get it working, you can follow the guides on the internet, because it's depending on how you want to install it, whether you install it on a Raspberry Pi or an AS drive using Docker, or on a Mac or on a Windows, but it has to be running all the time in the background for this to work properly. Okay, as it uses this to send and receive data. Okay, so once you've if you don't want to install this yourself, to make it easier, I've actually created another item in my shop based on the Raspberry Pi 3. It's the Sonos-Node-http-api. So what I've done is I've actually created and done one for you, and all you have to do is basically it's a Raspberry unit with the hidden Node-HTTP-Api installed. Plus, I've also added a file server, so you can actually store your music on the unit itself. It comes with a 16GB memory card, and with approximately 10-12 gig will be usable for music too as well. So you can then use this on your Home Center 3, Home Center 3 Lite, and Home Center 2, which I've forgotten to update. And it'll be delivered anywhere in the world, depending on where you are. Those are the delivery charges. And or, like I said here, you can just install it yourself. That's entirely up to you. Okay. So next, let's have a look at so we've had a look at this, we've done all this. Now let's see what the quick app actually does. So let me clear that and come up to that. So as usual, so let's do there. So this is the quick app itself. So we've got the icon, you've got your normal transport commands: play, stop, pause, previous and next. We have our volume control, which comes up here. All this appears in your mobile app as well. We've got the mute and unmute buttons, and then here, these are what we're going to be filling in the data. Okay, so the top line is going to be your playlist line. So the top 3 playlists. The middle 3 are your radio stations. So you can fill in your radio stations. And the bottom 3 are a sleep timer. So again, you can define what these sleep timers are going to be. Okay. Now, before we go on to filling in the data, I'm just going to bring in the Sonos app. So, naming. Ideally, they should have no spaces in the middle of here, because just the way I have got this to display names. Otherwise, if you put a space in there, we have to use the %20 to indicate a space when we are filling in the variables, but then it would also display on the titles, which doesn't really look right. So it's best not to put a space in and do what I've done. Capitalize, lowercase, then capitalize, lowercase, to separate the names. Okay. For Sonos favorites, these are the 3 radio stations that I've added in. If I added in more, the other apps that we've seen only bring in the top 3 or so. Whereas if you have more than 3 radio stations and you wanted number 6, then you would have had to manually move them across and resync. But on mine, you just type in the name you want. Again, I've renamed some of these come as standard, but otherwise you just have to just rename it, and then you can just rename it to what you like. And for example, on this one, I've got rid of all the spaces and kept it all in one word systems. Okay. Again, playlists. If you go into playlists, you've got all the playlists here. Again, I've got no spaces in the namings, and I've just done 3 playlists as a demo. Okay. Once you've done that, remember also, wherever this, because all my music is stored on the file server, it also means that I don't have to play, my phone doesn't have to be in the house, so anybody can use this quick app within the house that you've given access to, and all the music is stored centrally, which is what you want to do. And to do that, you want to click on settings, so Sonos preferences, music library, and then here you add your shared folder. So for me, that's the IP address of my Node-Sonos /share. So that's the directory I've installed all my music in. So that's where I would find it. Okay, so // IP address /share, and that's what will be for you too. And then I've just got a secondary drive with some more music on it, and that's again stored on a different folder. And as long as you add it all in, and then what we call here update music library, and it will just update the music from the shared folders into the Sonos app, and therefore the Sonos can then find it and play it. To confirm that everything has been added, you just click on the music library button, click on folders, and then you should see your 2 directory shares that you've got. So there's one set and there's another set. So everything below the shuffle is the folders, and there's another set. Okay, so that means all my music is available for Sonos and therefore be able to play in here. So I just use the Sonos app to create my playlists, just like you would normally do. Okay, so let's leave that on. I'm just going to move that over to the other screen. So let's click on settings. As usual, settings, devices, add devices, and upload file. As per normal, add your icon that's supplied with it too. If I click on edit and preview, so the other transport controls, they were all native to the app, so they will always work. So the data we need to input, variables. So variables start here. So we need to input number 1, zone name. So mine was called master bedroom without the spaces, and you input it there by just pressing the pencil icon and changing it there. IP address. Now, what you need to do is you need to make sure that the IP address of this node Sonos is fixed. 2 reasons. Number 1 is we're always going to be pointing to that to control it, so it has to be a fixed IP. Number 2, because we have got the file server on there, the Sonos will always be looking for the music on that particular IP. Now, in order to do that, you will type in your router name, so whichever brand of router you have, and you'll just say something like how to set fixed IP on a brand router. It will then give you some instructions on how to make that a fixed. So when you do a search, if you log into your router and you do a search for attached devices or on my network, or depending on the brand will be worded differently, it will say Raspberry Pi and it has an IP address. In my case it was 10.0.1.233. Yours might be 192.168.1. something or 192.168.0. something. So then after that, once you've found your Raspberry Pi, there should be some options there to make it a fixed IP or static IP. Just make sure that's ticked. Or if you have to go to another menu, usually the LAN menu or the local network menu, sometimes it's under the DHCP menu, where you can then fix the IP and give it static. Okay, so once you've done that, that's fine, and just make sure that IP address is filled in here. Then the port number you don't have to touch, leave that alone at 5005. Then the next 9 options are, so playlists 1, 2, and 3, radios 1, 2, and 3, and timers 1, 2, and 3. So, so if I go back to mine, so I had movie hits, and then where is it? Playlist 2 was night mix. Playlist 3 was indie mix, and then radio 1 was capital. So remember, looking at the letter capitalization of the letters are important. Heart and Heart 80s. Right, timers. I've set mine to 30, 45, and 60. You can set them to whatever you want. Whatever you set in here will auto update in the Quick app itself. So I'm just going to leave it at 30, 45, and 60. And then I'm just going to hit save. Now that I've hit save, if I click back on dashboard and go to the Sonos. So here's my app. So just bring it into the middle. So here it is. All the details here are filled out. And if I now go to thingy Sonos, what I'll do is I'll just bring that here, shorten it there, and just move that here. In fact, I'll just leave that there like that. So now, if I say, let's do radio, so capital, master bedroom here is already selected, capital's been brought up, starting,
Get up and at it.
there it is. I'm just going to put this down. Volume down for copyright act things. And if I wanted to do heart, if I just click on heart, there's heart. And starting, connected. So leave that on 1%. And then if I want to do the 80s, so it's now changed to 80s. Okay. So if I do, and I've just muted it. Unmute. So put it down to 0 again. If I wanted to pause it, so if I just do that here, paused, play, stop. So those transport controls are all working nicely. Forward and reverse won't work on radio stations. So now if we just choose one of these playlists, and then I can just hit pause, or if I just want to go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one, or go backwards, or the other thingies. There. Go to the next one, next one, next one, and backwards. No problem. Okay, so that's how this part works, and as you can see, it works quite well. And because we've written this as part of a quick app, all these commands are then going to be available in scenes. Okay, in a block scene, these will be just known as playlist 1, playlist 2, playlist 3, same in Lua code scenes. And so whatever the name of the variable was, that's actually the name of the button. So if you're into that, wanted to write scenes for this, it's all built into here as well. And there you have it, people. So nothing more to say apart from best way I found to make sure that you can do your own custom playlists, whichever radio station that you wish, as long as you've actually stored it in the Sonos app, and of course whatever timers you want to set, and then you can just set that in here, and as well as all your transport controls. As per normal, let's go back here, and as usual, the quick app. So if I go into the shop, so we've got the Pi available here. So that's the Raspberry Pi for the Node-Sonos, and the quick apps. If I go into here, and there's the Sonos Node quick app, which is available there. Okay, so as I said before, this will only work if you have the Node-Sonos-HTTP-Api bridge running within your home network. If you've installed it on a PC, on a MacBook, then make sure it's running before using this, otherwise it just won't work. So therefore I do recommend installing it on a Raspberry Pi or a NAS drive with the Docker or something that you have running all the time. Okay, to finish off with, I will say thank you very much for watching. Until I get the next video out, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.